Today on Health Trust TV, we have our very own Dr. Jane Varner talking about sugar consumption, and Sadie Clements from Community Alliance with Family Farmers talks about their educational programs. Elena, our demo artist, shows us sugar in beverages, and we brought Chef Jay from Morocco's restaurant to show us some simple and healthy desserts. Ryan Hughes, our fitness expert, covers some gym routines focusing on the chest. All this and much more on Health Trust TV. Hello everyone, and welcome to Health Trust TV. I'm Adam Morrella, and today we'll be discussing sugar and the damage it causes us. And to talk more about this topic, I'd like to welcome our very own Dr. Jane Varner. Thank you, Doctor, for joining us.
Oh, I'm happy to be here, Adam.
So let's get right into it. We all hear that sugar is really bad for us. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Well, it's a great opening. I wouldn't say that sugar is actually really bad for us. In fact, sugar is a necessary part of life. Our cells need it to carry out all of their metabolic processes, so without it, we wouldn't survive. However, there are certain types of sugars that are good for us and certain types that we really should avoid.
Now, you say there's good sugars and there's bad sugars. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
I'd be happy to. So the way we kind of index blood sugars is with the glycemic index. And the glycemic index really is a measure of how different types of foods impact your blood sugar. So you really want to look for foods that are lower on the glycemic index. And for example, in the category of fruits, stone fruits like apricots and peaches, berries, apples, pears are lower on the glycemic index than other types of fruits like watermelon and grapes.
Okay. So now if we've gone to the doctor and he tells us or she tells us that we have high blood sugar or if we're pre-diabetic, what are some important steps we can take to help manage that?
So first off, you want to watch what you eat, and so I highly recommend looking at that glycemic index. You can access it through the web pretty easily. You just do a Google search on glycemic index and choose foods that are lower on the index. Second, you want to get moving, and we used to believe that exercise really only benefited us unless we did a full hour, 5 days a week of continuous exercise, reaching a certain target heart rate. But what we've actually learned about exercise over the years is that any amount helps. So if it's better for you to spread your exercise over the course of your day, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, take the stairs instead of the elevator, whatever works for you, the main thing is to get moving, because movement helps the way your body metabolizes blood sugar.
So doctor, we talked about fruits. Is there any difference in vegetables that we eat? Is there vegetables that are better for us versus not as good?
Great question. Again, I refer to the glycemic index. When it comes to potatoes, for example, it turns out that sweet potatoes are much healthier for you than regular potatoes, and you wouldn't necessarily guess that. Yeah. But sweet potatoes, as it turns out, are much lower in sugar. They're higher in fiber. They are also higher in beta-carotene, which is an antioxidant, so you get that bonus there as well. I also always recommend dark green leafy vegetables like kale and collard greens. Dark lettuces are a really good choice. Other lettuces aren't necessarily bad for you with respect to their sugar content, but they don't have as much nutritional value.
I see. So now what about sweeteners? What if I wanted to sweeten something like my coffee or tea? What about artificial sweeteners and natural sweeteners?
So if you've been told that you really need to be watching your blood sugar, then I would be careful about adding any sugar to any of your foods, coffee, tea, breakfast cereals, anything. Artificial sweeteners are a good substitute, and there are many that are on the market now. Stevia is one of the newer ones. I always say be careful though with artificial sweeteners, because you don't want to overdo it. And with the aspartame, which is in most of the diet sodas, too much aspartame is probably not a good thing and may lead to some health risks down the road. Also, they did a study looking at, it was actually called the Harvard Nurses Study, and they looked at a group of nurses over time, and one of the variables that they looked at was diet soda consumption. Really? And you would think that if you weren't actually getting very much regular sugar, that your blood sugar wouldn't be higher, but what they actually found is that there was a higher rate of prediabetes and diabetes in that population. So,
very interesting.
Yeah, we don't completely understand why, but the takeaway really is that unlimited diet soda is not necessarily a healthy alternative.
So the best thing, avoid sweeteners if possible.
So avoid sweeteners if possible. If you need to use them, use the more natural ones like stevia.
Thank you so much, Dr. Varner. You've been an invaluable member of our show.
Well, it's my pleasure. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Great. So up next in our studio, Paloma will be joined by Community Alliance with Family Farmers. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm here with Sadie Clements, Regional Food Systems Manager of CAF, Community Alliance with Family Farmers. Thank you for being with us today.
Sure, my pleasure.
So tell us a little bit about CAF.
Great. CAF is an acronym for Community Alliance with Family Farmers. We are a 35-year-old nonprofit where we advocate for the California family farmers and sustainable agriculture. We're based out of 5 different regions around California and do program work, both connecting our growers to local markets and promoting the Buy Fresh, Buy Local campaign to our consumers. And then we do a lot of program work with our Farm to School program.
Oh, wonderful. So tell me about the school programs, how they get involved with CAF.
Sure. We've done Farm to School for about 12 years throughout California, so we have a little bit of a reputation, I would say. So when school districts are thinking about wanting to bring Farm to School programming to their district, they usually contact us and ask, what are the different ways I can get involved with Farm to School? We've got 3 different areas that we work on with Farm to School. We have our Harvest of the Month program, which is where we work with our teachers to bring a box of locally grown food from one of our growers into the classroom, and we teach nutrition and agriculture education in the classroom.
That's great. So students learn where their food's coming from, how it's being brought to them on the table.
That's right.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and we always include both curriculum that the teachers can use with their Common Core standards, as well as a farmer profile so that the kids know exactly where that farm is located, that it's right here in the Santa Clara Valley, and information about the farm and the farmer's family.
Wonderful.
And so the other parts of the Farm to School program are working directly with the food service directors. And this is where we're linking the food service directors to the farmers so that they can purchase that food for the cafeterias. So when kids run into the cafeteria after learning about some stone fruit that was grown here in the valley, then they'll see it on the salad bar and get really excited. They know who grew it, and we try to promote it in the salad or near the salad bar as well.
What age group are these schools that you're targeting?
We usually focus on elementary schools. Okay. We've done some programming with older kids, but we kind of focus more on the elementary school age.
Thank you, Sadie, for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me.
Be sure to stay tuned. Up next, Adam will be joined in the kitchen with Chef Jay from Morocco's restaurant in Mountain View. But first, here's Elena with a Healthy Choice demo.
Hi, I'm Elena from the Health Trust, and today I'm going to talk about why water is the ultimate thirst quencher. Take a second to stop and think before reaching for that juice or soda. Those drinks can have a lot of calories and a lot of sugar. Let's investigate. 1 20-ounce bottle of soda. How much sugar do you think is in this guy? 16 teaspoons of sugar. So when you're drinking this soda, you're actually drinking all of this sugar. Let's move on to sports drinks. 1 20-ounce sports drink. This has 8 teaspoons of sugar. These drinks are advertised as being healthy for you, but really that's far too much sugar to be good for you. And finally, a juice pouch. This has 4 teaspoons of sugar. That's less than the others, but still a lot of sugar. Finally, water. 0 calories and 0 teaspoons of sugar. Drinking water instead of these other sugary beverages can help to control your weight and lower your risk for type 2 diabetes. It can also quench your thirst, energize your muscles, and keep your skin looking healthy and glowing. Want to try drinking more water but still kind of like the flavors of juice and soda? Try flavoring water with some fresh fruit slices, like citrusy oranges or sweet strawberries, even some herbs like crushed mint. It's really refreshing.
To get the fizziness of soda, sparkling water is a great option. Again, you can flavor it with some fresh fruit to get that sweet carbonated flavor. So next time you're thirsty, try water. It's really the healthiest option and the ultimate thirst quencher. I'm Elena from the Health Trust, giving you the tools to make a healthy choice.
Thank you, Elena. And coming up next, Chef Jay from Morocco's restaurant shows us a great simple dessert. And later, Ryan Hughes, our fitness expert, covers the chest. But first, a healthy tip from Ryan himself.
Hi, my name is Ryan Hughes with Health Trust TV, and let's talk a little bit about walking today. Walking is great because it's something that everybody can do. It's fun, it's enjoyable. You can do it while walking your dog or walking to work, but you want to focus on a couple key elements. It's nice to start out with a stroll, but you really want to challenge yourself when you're walking. So either try to increase your distance or increase your pace and start to get your heart rate up. The whole goal is to get the heart rate going and to actually burn some calories while you're walking and incorporate walking as an element of fitness, not just a leisurely stroll. So remember, stay healthy.
Here at the Health Trust, we're working hard to make Silicon Valley healthier for everyone.
Every year, we offer free health screenings at our annual open-air health fair. We offer 2 children's dental centers that provide oral health care for all children.
Increasing AIDS awareness and services is important to us. So we throw an annual fundraiser, Dining Out for Life.
Every day, we deliver over 400 hot meals to seniors through our Meals on Wheels program.
We have great partners like the Silicon Valley Turkey Trot, which will help us triple the numbers of classes for our Better Choices, Better Health program for people coping with diabetes and other chronic illnesses.
To us, everyone's health matters. One of our many programs or services may help you or someone that you know reach optimal health.
The time is now. Join us and make health a priority. Visit healthtrust.org.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Health Trust TV, and today for our cooking segment we're with Chef Jay from Morocco's restaurant in downtown Mountain View. Thanks for joining us today, Jay.
It's good to be here.
So what is it that you're going to be making for us today?
Well, today we're featuring once again one of the healthiest desserts. This time you can have anywhere. I like to say it's probably the healthiest dessert in Silicon Valley, as it is a raw dessert.
Wow.
It's great for diabetics, great for any food restrictions, unless you are allergic to citrus, as this is an orange-based dessert.
Okay, well, it sounds exciting. Let's get started. I'm anxious.
So my dad likes to call this Morocco's traditional and most popular national dessert. It's called the orange cinnamon blossom. Wow. So it's really easy, taking advantage of the great fruits grown out here in California.
Yep.
We have fresh California oranges right here, freshly cut and sliced, some organic honey, also from the beautiful hills of California. Here is the secret ingredient, which, if anybody can guess, it's not water, it's not vinegar, it's rose water.
Rose water.
Rose water.
I haven't heard of rose water.
So it's very popular in most ethnic stores. You can find it in like Indian stores, Persian stores. It's a Middle Eastern tradition.
Okay.
And cinnamon. So very simple. We just take our fresh sliced oranges, line them up, kind of in a nice and clean way. Here we go.
Simple enough so far.
Okay, pretty simple, right?
Pretty simple.
Then we sprinkle a small touch of honey, not much, but a very thin strip of honey, just like this, to ensure that the sweetness is actually more than the tanginess, as it is a dessert.
Okay.
And this is an important part, is there's an order to follow here. We want to put the rose water first, and very light. If you notice, they're literally just small
Just
drops
a few
like
drops,
this.
huh?
Very subtle, not over-empowering.
Less is more.
Less is more, sir.
Okay.
And last but not least, also a very tiny sprinkle of cinnamon. So very subtle, very healthy. And the reason why it's important to put the rose water first, so the cinnamon sprinkle stays intact.
Okay.
Okay?
That sounds great. Is it time to try it?
I think it's time to
Let's
try,
give it a
sir.
shot.
Here
All
it is.
right, here's the big taste test. Pretty quick, pretty simple, pretty easy to make, it looks like. Healthy. Let's see if we can kind of just pull this apart. Wow. That's actually surprisingly really good.
isn't it?
Yeah, that's amazing. So, we want to thank Chef Jay from Morocco's in downtown Mountain View for coming in and joining us. Stay tuned because coming up next, our fitness expert Ryan has great new exercises for you all at home. But before we get to Ryan, we're going to go see Dr. Varner, and she has an important health message for all of us.
Hi there and welcome. I'm Dr. Jane Varner from the Palo Alto Medical Foundation, here with the doctor's message. You or a close friend or family member may have been told that you have adult diabetes or even pre-diabetes. Well, you are not alone. Nearly 2 million Americans are diagnosed with adult diabetes every year. Diabetes can increase your risk of developing problems with your heart, eyes, kidneys, and even the nerves in your hands and feet. So what is diabetes anyway? The food that you eat is broken down into simple building blocks. Some of those building blocks are glucose molecules. Glucose molecules are reabsorbed into your bloodstream from your digestive tract and then further transported into your individual cells by insulin. Your cells then have the necessary fuel to carry out all of their important processes. With adult diabetes, your body makes plenty of insulin, but the insulin just doesn't work well. This is called insulin resistance. Insulin resistance can develop as a result of genetics, lack of physical activity, and being overweight. So if you've been told that you have diabetes, or even pre-diabetes, what can you do to help yourself? I like to think of this as a twofold approach. 1, increase the effectiveness of insulin in your body, and 2, decrease the number of carbohydrates that you are eating. Increasing insulin effectiveness can be accomplished through physical activity and weight loss. Studies show that physical activity immediately increases insulin effectiveness. So after a meal, take a walk around the block, walk up and down the stairs at work, or even put on some music and dance as you clear the table and wash the dishes. Exercise for 10 minutes or an hour. It turns out that every minute counts. Studies also show that even a 5 or 10 pound weight loss can dramatically increase insulin effectiveness. If you're struggling to lose weight on your own, talk to your doctor to find out what kind of support programs might be available to you. Watch the number of carbohydrates that you are eating. Carbohydrates are broken down into glucose molecules. Some are necessary, but too many are harmful. Examples of carbohydrates are breads, rice, tortillas, noodles, fruits and fruit juices, sodas, and desserts. All the foods we love, right? Some carbs are more harmful than others though, so reference the glycemic index that I talked about earlier in the show when deciding on which foods to cut back on. Whenever possible, choose whole grains such as brown rice and whole wheat bread. These are tougher for the body to break down and don't generate quite as many glucose molecules as processed carbs. My final recommendations: start today. Take small steps if you need to. Target a 5-pound weight loss and a walk around the block every evening after dinner. Once you start, you'll feel so much better. And that's what it's all about, right? Again, I'm Dr. Jane Varner with the doctor's message.
Coming up next is Ryan Hughes, our fitness expert, covering some great chest exercises. But first, a healthy tip from one of our community members.
Hi, I'm Forrest Williams. Sugar consumption is at an all-time high, partly because it's found in almost all processed foods. Although we all enjoy something sweet, too much sugar can be harmful to our health. So be sure to monitor your sugar intake and use healthier alternatives whenever possible, such as agave nectar and honey. Agave nectar is really sweet and contains fiber to assist with your digestive health, while honey provides a concentrated dose of antioxidants and, if grown locally, can help with your seasonal allergies. For more information on how to reduce your sugar intake, visit www.healthtrust.org.
Hi, my name is Ryan Hughes, and today we're gonna hit the chest. We'll put together a nice chest workout for you today. So chest is a tough muscle to train in that it has a lot of different elements to it, and some other muscle groups come into play a little bit and start to take over the movements. So you really gotta focus on your form and use proper weight when you're doing any kind of chest activity. So let's start off by doing a dumbbell chest press. Remember, as I just said, you want to select a weight that's appropriate for you, one that you can control and make sure the form is executed properly. So you're going to select a nice weight here for the dumbbells. We're going to start, make sure you're seated upright. As you come back, bring the dumbbells, keep them close to your body, and then bring them up once you're nice and settled. This is a press, so all we're going to do here is bend our arms to a 90-degree angle. Just like that, get a good stretch on the chest and back up and squeeze. Just like that, so your arms are straight. And back down, good stretch on the chest to a 90-degree and back up, squeeze, just like that. Down and back up. Important thing to keep in mind here is to keep a nice arch in your lower back and take your shoulders out of this. If it's too easy for you, you can increase your weight as you move up in sets and back up. So we'll shoot for 10 to 12 reps on here, 3 to 4 sets of each. And again, when you focus on the form, if the weight is a little bit light, you can increase your weight as we move up in sets. Our second exercise is going to be similar in that we're going to be using the same bench, but we're going to do a dumbbell fly. So for this one, same thing. Pull the dumbbells back, press them up, and instead of turning them out this time, we're going to keep them turned in, and we're going to keep our arms straight, let the dumbbells out to the side, get a good stretch on the chest, and back in. Again, our arms are staying straight, a slight bend in the elbow, but for the most part, we're going to keep them straight and just focus on getting that nice stretch on the chest. And back up. So again, all the way out till you feel a good stretch. Back up. You don't want to go too far that it's painful, but just enough so you get a good stretch in that chest and then a good squeeze at the top. Same thing for this, 10 to 12 reps, 3 to 4 sets. Now we'll move into our last exercise. And for our third and final exercise for chest, we're going to do a push-up. Real basic exercise. There's a couple different ways you can perform these. You can have your arms shoulder width apart, get up on your toes, and perform them just like this. Pretty standard push-up. We can also have a little bit more of a challenging push-up. Put your arms closer together and bend down just like this. That adds just another challenge to the movement. If the push-ups are a little bit too difficult for you, you can reduce the challenge by putting your knees on the ground and leaving them there. So you can just come straight down just like that and do an assisted push-up just like that. Important thing to focus on all 3 of these different styles of push-ups is bringing your chest down, keeping your head up, and getting that good stretch and full extension at the top. You can do 10 to 12 reps of these, 3 to 4 sets, and that wraps up our chest workout. My name is Ryan Hughes with Health Trust TV, reminding you to stay healthy.
Well, that's our show for today. Remember, everything you've learned and more can be found at our website, www.healthtrust.org. Visit the site and join us next time as we bring Silicon Valley the latest in health. Thanks for watching Health Trust TV.